busy is a form of laziness, lazy thinking and indiscriminate action. When I first read this quote from Tim Ferriss, I felt personally attacked because deep down, I knew it was true. I was filling my days with tasks that made me feel productive without questioning if they were actually moving me forward. In today's video, I'm breaking down the psychology behind why we fill our time with busy work and the simple but powerful system I use to ensure I'm focusing on meaningful productivity instead. You'll learn how to implement the 1-3-5 rule, create your own time management matrix, and finally, align your daily actions with your bigger goals. The Busywork Trap. Why we confuse motion with progress. Ever finish a full day of work only to realize you accomplished nothing meaningful? I lived this cycle for years, answering every email immediately, rearranging my workspace constantly, convincing myself social media scrolling counted as research. These activities gave me the illusion of productivity while keeping me from real work. Studies show 80% of our time gets wasted on low-value tasks. That's 4 out of every 5 hours spent on things that don't move us forward. Our brains prefer busy work because checking off small tasks gives instant dopamine hits. Writing a book chapter? That requires delayed gratification. Color coding your calendar? Immediate satisfaction. Last month, I spent 3 hours perfecting my schedule colors while avoiding a career-advancing proposal. People who can't distinguish busy work from meaningful tasks experience 3x higher stress levels. They're constantly exhausted yet deeply unfulfilled. My wake-up call came when I tracked my time for a week. 28 hours gone to urgent tasks that didn't serve my goals. That's nearly a full work week wasted every month. Here's how to spot busy work. Ask if this task moves you toward your most important goal. If not, cross it off. Most of what feels urgent actually isn't. Real productivity comes from resisting the dopamine trap of small wins and focusing on what truly matters. The 1-3-5 rule, a simple system for laser focus. I hit breaking point last Tuesday when my to-do list reached 37 items. That's when I discovered the 1-3-5 rule, a system that slashed my list by 80% while doubling my actual output. Here's how it works. You pick one big task, 3 medium tasks, and 5 small tasks for the day. That's your entire to-do list. No more, no less. Our brains can't effectively handle more than 9 discrete tasks before decision fatigue sets in. Before using this method, my list buried critical work like writing a book chapter between trivial items like replying to all emails or organizing Pinterest boards. The 1-3-5 rule forced me to make the book chapter non-negotiable. Research shows people using this approach complete 60% more high-value work because constraints create clarity. The real magic happens the night before. Planning your next day's 1-3-5 primes your brain to focus on what matters from the moment you wake up. But here's the catch. Your one must be the task you'd most likely avoid. That's usually the one that actually moves the needle. For me, it's often the creative work that feels intimidating, like drafting a video script or pitching a new project. This method works because it forces you to audit your to-do list and eliminate tasks that don't align with your goals. Many to-do lists are filled with non-essential items that waste time and reduce productivity. By focusing on just 9 intentional tasks, you direct your energy where it counts. The time management matrix. Ditch urgency for importance. I used to wear my instant responsiveness like a badge of honor until I realized I was letting other people dictate my priorities. The time management matrix changed that. It divides tasks into 4 quadrants: important, not urgent, not important, urgent, and not important, not urgent. Most people spend 60% of their time in quadrant 3. Tasks that feel urgent but don't actually matter. When I mapped my week, I found 15 hours spent on urgent requests that did nothing for my goals. That's 2 full workdays wasted every week. Quadrant 2 is where real progress happens. This is strategic work, planning, learning, building relationships. Research shows top performers spend 65% of their time here, while average performers only allocate 15%. The difference explains why some people achieve so much more with the same hours. The matrix forces you to confront reality. Tasks in quadrant 4? Delete them. Quadrant 3? Delegate or delay. I used to think saying no was rude. Now I see it's necessary. The matrix also helps with procrastination on big projects. When you map them into quadrant 2, they stop feeling overwhelming. Breaking a book into research, outlining, and writing chapters makes it manageable. Perfectionism. Paralysis fades when you see these as important but not urgent. You can tackle them systematically. Create your matrix now. Be brutally honest. You'll likely find hours spent on tasks that don't serve you. The goal isn't to eliminate all urgent tasks, some are unavoidable, but to shift more time into quadrant 2. That's where long-term success lives. Discipline. Motivation, the real productivity hack. I used to wait for motivation like it was weather, unpredictable and out of my control. Then I realized motivation follows action, not the other way around. Discipline is creating systems so you don't need willpower. Studies show motivation fluctuates based on energy levels, environment, even blood sugar. You can't control these factors, but you can control your systems. When I committed to writing 500 words before checking email, my book went from idea to draft in 3 months. No motivation required. Just a rule. The 2-minute rule defeats procrastination by leveraging inertia. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it's longer, start with just 2 minutes of work. Research shows starting is 90% of the battle. Once in motion, you're 4 times more likely to continue. I use this for everything from replying to difficult emails to gym sessions. The first 2 minutes feel manageable, and momentum takes care of the rest. Environment design matters more than willpower. I deleted social media apps during work hours, and my productivity tripled. When your environment supports focus, you don't need heroic self-control. Another rule: no phone until my first task is complete. Small wins like this build unstoppable momentum because they prove discipline is just a series of choices, not some mythical trait you're born with. Real productivity feels calm, not chaotic. When you focus on what matters, you accomplish more by doing less. Your worth is not defined by how busy you are, but by the progress you make. The most successful people aren't the busiest. They're the most intentional with their time. Your hours are your life currency. Spend them on what moves you forward. Here's your challenge. Audit one day this week using the 1 to 3 5 rule and time matrix. Notice how much busy work you can eliminate. I'm curious what you'll discover. Share it below. Remember, productivity isn't about activity. It's about alignment. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.